The comic
The
shop.
comic shop. I still feel like there's feedback in my mic, and it's my microphone too. I went through everything else. Oh, doctor, welcome to another episode. Who are you again, Aaron? What?
Welcome to the comic shop. Does a podcast. I'm Aaron Z. Lee.
No, we have no subtitles today.
Subtitles.
Thank you so much.
We're here with
Never experienced that.
very special guest star.
Oh, you're skipping
Who's
you?
yeah? Whatever, not me. Why is your camera? Oh my God! I spent all this time trying to set this stuff up, and nothing works.
No one touched the camera.
All this stuff that if Evan just didn't even mention it, nobody would even notice.
I'm Martin Kinney.
I'm Michael Callie.
Oh, filibuster for time.
Filibuster.
Phil.
Phil, come Buster.
I gotta go back to the other camera.
You know, there's a
Local. trash
character
goblin.
I goofed around and made up a while ago called Tom Phil. And what
Tom Phil?
Tom Phil is, he's a session musician. He just plays the toms. He plays Tom Phils.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
when there's like
yeah.
a little change up in the
I
drum
got it.
pattern.
Are you going to
So-
have him partner up with Phil Collins at some point?
I think isn't Phil Collins retired?
Oh my God!
He is, but for your story, he doesn't
I'm
have
giving
to
up
be.
on this podcast.
I guess that's
already.
true. That's true. They could just bring Tom Phil in for all the.
Tom Phil.
I'm a little sad I
Phil
left my
Phils.
Clorox over on the other table.
Why is that?
I'm thirsty.
Oh, okay. Speaking of thirst. Let's just close.
Yeah, let's get that all over my Absolute Edition, please.
Ah, there we go.
I've heard better.
There you go.
Not sponsored by whatever this is.
Red Bull.
You
Red
know, I
Bull.
tried the. I tried the Aldi version of Red Bull. It's called Red Thunder.
It's not bad.
It is not
It's
bad.
not bad at all. And it's
How
sugar-free.
elderly are you?
I was born 60. I'm at least 90 now.
That seems about right.
That's my life. That's how I do it.
On the subject of things that are retired, what are we talking about today? Does that not make... That does make sense. If you think about it.
I'm just
Because
angry.
Superman retired.
A
What are we
90
talking about today?
Yeah,
A
'cause
90-year-old
everyone
man.
retired.
That's me.
Oh, we're talking about, of course, the DC classic,
Kingdom Come.
Kingdom Come.
Here it is.
Hey,
Absolute
No,
edition.
here it is.
And here it is.
And here's the real book,
here it
I was
is.
gonna Say, we
The
have
Kingdom.
We have all the versions,
every version you could ever want.
400 versions of Kingdom Come.
each with different special features.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, Martin.
Wunderbar.
You've been doing a lot of research. Do you want to start us off and tell us a little bit of background about this book?
Yeah, I'm ready to
or
just kick back and just kind of exist
Kingdom
here.
Come is a 4-issue prestige format miniseries written by Mark Waid, art by Alex Ross, letters by Ted Klein. It comes back later.
Todd Klein.
Based on a story concept by Alex Ross. Published by DC Comics in 1996 under the Elseworlds imprint. Evan, what's an Elseworld imprint?
it's like your what ifs.
What
your-
is it?
What?
We have it.
Oh, am I supposed to read the next thing?
I guess so.
In Elseworlds, heroes are taken from the usual settings and put into strange times and places that some have existed or might have existed, others that can't or should not. The result, stories that make characters more familiar as yesterday seem as fresh as
As a daisy.
tomorrow.
Now, Aaron, you read the book several times now. Could you tell us what it's about?
It's about a guy. He has a motivation and a conflict, and it's compelling. Is it this part?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometime in the not so distant future, superheroes have lost sight of their true goal, truth and justice. Most of the supervillains have been taken care of, with a 401k and medical coverage.
Just like artists.
Yes. And the heroes now battle each other over turf, bragging rights, or as entertainment. The heroes of the previous generation are mostly retired, following the lead of their greatest champion, Superman. A battle finally ensues between the two generations. All the while, we watch through the eyes of Pastor Norman McKay, a man chosen by the Spectre to decide the fate of the guilty during Armageddon. It's wonderful. Poetry to me.
All right. Do you want to keep going, Martin? You want me to read? What do you want?
I
what do
can-
you want to do?
Well,
Like the backstory. I think Alex Ross is pretty interesting. Martin's got a little backstory here for him. Name is Nelson Alexander Ross.
You know,
Yes.
we
that was
got
a fact
plenty
I didn't know.
We got plenty of time. We can talk slower.
Born January 22nd, 1970, an American comic book creator and artist known primarily for his painted interiors, covers, and design work. He became known with the 1994 series Marvels, in which he collaborated with writer Kurt Busiek. Still don't know how to pronounce his name
No
for
one
Marvel
does.
Comics.
No.
A lot of gouache Norman Rockwell meets George Perez, it says here. Praised for his
Mhm.
realistic human depictions and classic comic book characters. That's what drew me to Kingdom Come. I believe I read Kingdom Come was my first exposure to an Alex Ross book, and I believe Wizard put me on it.
Oh, it's all in here. Okay.
That I had never seen painted comics before. That to me as a so it comes out in 96. I'm 14 or 15. I just had never seen this before, and like the hyper realism. It's not hyper realism. What would you call his?
Like heroic realism.
Mhm. Just I had never seen anything like this before, and I don't think people did for the most part. This is a relatively new take. There are painted comics in the past. I think about like things from
Like Epic Comics with the Havoc and Wolverine Meltdown series,
or
Moon
heavy
Shadow,
heavy metal,
J.M. DeMatteis. Oh yeah, heavy metal.
like
yeah, of course.
things like that, where a Frank Frazetta or whatever. But this was a superhero take that again, as 14, 15-year-old Evan, this kind of blew my mind. And I also didn't know DC very well. I was a Marvel kid.
Mhm.
And I was amazed at how attached I became to these characters, learning about them. And you didn't really have to know anything about the DC universe other than maybe who Superman was.
Yep.
You know, like
One of the
Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman's clearly needed.
Yeah, I was just gonna say one of the nicer things about this book is that even if you do have very little experience, it's a book that can, like you said, Evan, if you know who Superman is, if you know who Batman is, if you know Wonder Woman is, you can figure the rest out. But the more research you do, the more time you spend with the universe, the more the book reveals itself to you.
this thing is hyper detailed, and it's so nuanced, and you can just keep going and going and going in terms of how deep do you want to dig into these characters,
Exactly.
even the little throwaway moments.
Yeah.
The costume design.
Everything is a nod to something else.
It is. It's really taking 70 years of. I'm not sure how. Well, what's this? Was 1996, 60,
You say
whatever.
70.
60 of DC history from hundreds, if not thousands, of artists, and it respects all of that work, and it builds off of all of that work in this retro futuristic style. That there was tips in the hat to the golden age and the silver age, and just
Even the Pepsi age.
yes.
Didn't you say something about was it the Blackhawks that were in this?
Oh, well, just when I read this back in 1996, basically I was fairly new to DC. I knew Super Friends. I knew like maybe the Batman animated
Yeah,
series
right.
is where I got like most of my DC stuff. I was getting like maybe 2 or 3 DC books at the time, and like as I was going through the reread, I'm just like, oh. Back then, I wouldn't have known that this symbol was the Blackhawks and that there was something significant about who these people were who were delivering the bombs. And just lots of stuff like that I picked up as I was going through the reread, where it's like I vaguely knew who Captain Marvel was, stuff like that.
Yeah, so on and so forth.
Aaron, what was your first exposure to Kingdom Come?
I think I took it out of the library, the Penfield Library at SUNY Oswego, when I was a student there. Or maybe, yeah, it was when I was a student at SUNY Oswego.
Did they know you took it?
Well, it's a library book, so you can check it out.
Well, no, if you said took it, I wasn't sure if you just shoved it down your pants and ran.
I probably should have done that,
should've.
but I didn't.
A bunch of comments in the chat. Yes, Alex Ross, born in 1970, just a baby, so he's 25 years old working on this book, which is wild
Holy
to me. Like that somebody could have that much.
One of
wait.
if I may,
Yeah.
one of Alex Ross's favorite things to do on social media is show pictures of his drawings from the time he was about 6 years old, the time that he was 12 years old to his adult life. And he's just one of those people that seem to be born with that natural ability to just create things. His 6-year-old Superman drawing looks better than I would probably be able to do today. It's amazing.
In the notes that Martin compiled, his influences are his mother was Lynette was a class or a commercial artist, John Romita Senior, Neil
John
Adams,
Romita.
George Perez, Bernie Wrightson, Andrew Loomis, and Norman Rockwell. What an interesting collection of artists. And you kind of said that as a kid.
When he
He-
was, I think starting in his teens, he was talking about the fact that when he was doing something that was more like superhero-y, he would lean towards the Perez influence. And when he was doing something more realistic, I guess you would say, he did the Bernie Wrightson, more of a look for that.
At age
I
17,
do love the Bernie Wrightson.
At age 17, Ross studied painting at the American Academy of Art in Chicago, where his mother had studied. It was during this time he formed his idea to paint his own comic books. Ross graduated after 3 years. Obviously, this guy's a prodigy, right?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
he's just a freak of nature that,
Well, and also he's got a like professional that's literally his mom.
Yeah.
yeah.
To channel all that.
it
and
doesn't,
help him-
well,
Yep.
I mean, yeah,
it doesn't always guarantee it, but like she has access to all the materials. Like she knows how to run the business. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't hurt.
A combination of nature and nurture.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
the perfect combination there.
Doctor Who. I think I bought the trade because of Ross's artwork and the fact that it's an Elseworlds title that didn't require require knowledge of the larger continuity. Yes, I think that's my introduction as well. As I said, I read a couple Batman things, I read a couple Superman things. Here's a standalone story where if you know just a little bit, you become deeply like you really like. There's high stakes here. Like you really feel like it's building towards something, and you're very sympathetic towards these characters. I don't know.
Even with part of this that Evan and I have been talking the last couple days about is should there have been more to this? Because I'm just looking at like all the background characters that you know nothing about. These are things that were designed. We'll get into that later, pretty intricately. But also like some of like the psychological motivations, exploring like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it's a good
I
one.
mean, the story's not rushed or anything, but it would be kind of cool. Like you understand what Wonder Woman's motivations are, but it would be kind of interesting to see that more of that explored.
Which
a
I
bit
think
in depth, but then Evan counters with
Yeah, I think we went back and forth on this a little bit. That I love it because when you read something like this and you want more, I think that's a good sign. I think when things are overexplored and run,
sometimes your wishes come true.
and yeah, I mean
and
there was
it's awful.
whereas you've got this nice tight package, Martin,
Tight
that
package.
it leaves you wanting more. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think we need more of that. I think we need there's no fat left on this thing. It's just a page to page, panel to panel. This there's not my joke was always there's not 6 pages of Aunt May in the kitchen making bran muffins. Like we're moving.
Wheat cakes.
Wheat cakes. I'm sorry. Yes, thank you.
No
My
problem. Good.
Apologies to Jack Kirby.
Cakes.
Wheat cakes.
Wheat cakes.
Have you read a Spider-Man comic? Come on, Aaron.
So
Not-
Ross's first
not in my
comic
life.
book work was the 1995 issue miniseries Terminator. So he's 20 years old. He's
Which
doing
a lot of people seem to have worked on a Terminator book at some point because there's someone else whose name will pop up later that was the case. I can't remember who it was.
Galassi. He did a Terminator
Yeah,
comic.
yeah, he's another one because
I flipped through like his artwork is good on it, but I flipped through a couple of those.
and
I don't know if that series that's that great. The Galassi one. And I love
oddly enough,
Galassi.
his Terminator he did the pencils, inks, colors, everything. Yeah,
Alex Ross.
yeah, which is
Yeah.
weird for.
I believe didn't he paint it? I think he did paint it, and it doesn't. I think I've looked at some of the stuff in there. It doesn't quite look like the polished Alex Ross that we know
Yeah.
now, but definitely in that vein.
do we want to look at this book, or Martin? Do you have anything else you want to comment on before we start?
We can flip through it. We can.
Yeah.
No, I don't think we want to look at this one.
Yeah. So
I think it's better if we just describe the pictures.
yes.
I have these full pages of text. We can look at those together.
Oh come on, let's open this thing up.
So the author Mark
Ooh.
Waid, born in 1962. Does that make you feel better, Doctor Who, Scott?
Shiny.
Yeah, he started out as an editor. Going ahead, in '87, and he worked on Batman: Gotham by Gaslight, which is now retroactively the first Elseworlds book. So
Is it
Wait,
really?
Did he write
Yeah.
it, or he's an editor?
he
of
was
it?
an editor.
Is that an entirely Mike Mignola thing?
No,
I think he just illustrated.
I think he just drew it as well. I
Yeah.
can't think who wrote it though.
it might have been Brian Augustine.
Some guy. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's actually
is
our
it
next
okay?
bullet point. Funnily enough,
92. All right, he went from editing in 89 to freelance. He eventually landed on The Flash, which is where most people kind of know him from. 8-year run, created Impulse during that time. Marvel editors Ralph Macchio and Mark Grunwald hired him as Grunwald's successor to Captain America. Had a very critically acclaimed run on that right before Heroes Reborn. Rob Liefeld invited him to write the Heroes Reborn issues, and he declined.
I did not know that.
Just because he didn't like the slap in the face of being.
Replaced doesn't like the fact that it was this image quality book being made now that
Oh yeah, because that's a
it was still 96, 95, 96 and he wouldn't offer that. So So Alex Ross is hot off of doing Marvels with Kurt B, and
Kurt B.
he wanted to do a similar project over at DC. So he submitted a proposal, and DC was obviously eager to accept that proposal, which gets us this painted masterpiece here.
Because DC was like, I like money. I love this this Planet Krypton restaurant with all the people dressed up in costume. This is in a way kind of predicting real life, right? Like there's got to be some bar or restaurant where people are all dressed up like the Super Friends or something, all the servers.
I think it's
I mean, it's definitely predicting cosplay.
it's meant to be a parody of Planet
Planet
Hollywood. Would you remember
But
that?
no one really
Planet-
dressed up, did they?
Well, it was
I don't think the
Hollywood
stuff was-
memorabilia.
it's got
and
the
things like
memorabilia
that.
and stuff,
yeah.
You know, I don't think it was like that Pulp Fiction-y type where they're portraying,
Yeah.
you know, the Marilyn Monroes, but you know, it's definitely the Planet Hollywood type thing. Look at these pages are insane.
Mhm. Especially the bigger you get. It's
Well, yeah, like the oversized, it looks
Yeah.
even more beautiful. I guess he could do, from what I understand, Alex Ross can do maybe 10 pages a month.
I would believe
That I think it's like 3 to 4 pages, or he can do a page quickly in like 3 days. More detailed things take like 4 days, and the amount of reference. Aaron,
yeah.
you're a huge reference guy. It's insane.
I feel the disdain in your voice.
No, I'm
you
not saying.
reference trash guy.
No, I'm not. You've not that you've changed my mind in regards to reference. I think it's very important. But this is like he's using models for this, like, and this is pre-internet. Well, not pre-internet, but like we were talking, like there's really not
It's
digital.
early days of internet
That like he's probably having people model for him, and there's some of the models are in the back where he's taking pictures.
with
his,
Polaroids and such.
so one of his business partners, Sal Abenati, I think his name's thrown around in the back of this. Here's the official representative for both Alex Ross and Bernie Wrightson, if I'm remembering correctly. He's in charge of like all of their properties. But Sal
Oh,
is
this
the person that
Page
most
is great. Where he's
of-
holding the tractor up.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yep, beautiful.
like-
Most
Are there animals in the background?
Let's let Michael finish.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So Shazam's design in this book is based specifically off of Sal. He had Sal dress up in the Shazam suit, took all sorts of pictures of him posing all sorts of different ways, and copied him for this book.
He did that with another friend for Superman, and another
Yes.
friend. Like there's 4 main people he credits, and then there's a list
His
of
dad.
people in the back
Mm-hmm.
that his father was one of them.
I thought his dad was Norman.
Is his dad Norman?
believe
Because
that.
Sure,
it's
yeah.
Yes,
it's a
definitely.
I'm sure if you go to the very last page of one of the trades, I think it's got a link from his dad. I didn't read it.
And fun
'cause-
fact,
too
later
many
on,
comics
I
today.
believe it's his nephew that he models the young Red Skull from Earth X on, right? His nephew, I think. Right? Well, that's a whole different thing.
Nephew, you remind me of a
Nazi.
socialist or a Nazi. What's the word I want?
Youth.
let's talk about
Dictator.
this
I don't
page
know.
where Clark or Kal-El is on the farm.
I like when
Holding
he
up
has
the
these kind of more structured panels because I think sometimes when he does stuff like these battle sequences with these tears, the one scenes kind of bleed into each other. I understand he's trying to go for like a chaotic thing,
Yeah.
but it's when he does that, it gets a bit hard to read.
So we get the
especially with all the
tractor
speech
on
bubbles
there.
and stuff.
Yes.
Anyway, back to the tractor. This is effective, I think.
So Evan, you had something to say, and then I have something to say.
No,
Oh, you
I
don't?
I really don't. I just love that. And
They're
how
doggies and horsies.
And look, is there a monkey?
Is there? Yes, there is
So-
a monkey.
Mark Waid is a huge fan of the Silver Age, and editorial at this time hated the Silver Age and any of the goofy concepts, and they specifically told him he could not have any of that type of stuff in here. Alex Ross knows that he likes the Super Pets, so Alex Ross drew them in there. Later on, editorial saw it and got mad at Mark Waid, and
which shows you how dumb editorial is, but
To me, the most fun DC stuff is the Silver Age stuff.
Yeah, because it's bananas. It's ridiculous. It's so fun.
Yes, and I like comics to be fun. They don't. Sometimes dark and brooding can be fun too, but I don't know. I like a little bit of silliness. That's okay.
I also like the sequence where Wonder Woman's convincing Cal to get his head out of his ass and come take care of some
Oh, I didn't even notice.
these whippersnappers.
Crypto's giving him a little kiss on the cheek. That's very cute.
Yeah,
And-
those little character moments are nice.
And her motivation sort of appears to be like our motivation, but as the book moves on, you realize that Wonder Woman is not exactly 100% altruistic there and what her intentions are.
I love this because you think that she's visiting Clark on the farm, and this is how I remember it as a kid too. Is that she comes to the farm and he's working,
But the farm
and then you realize that he's not at the farm. This is a hologram, and he's in the Fortress of Solitude.
Well, your thought should be, why would he be in a Kansas farm when Kansas has been annihilated?
Yeah, it just again, I remember this differently as a kid, and how different Clark Kal-El is. That like he is this carpenter, this farmer, this like he's trying to, even though he's removed himself from humanity to live in the Fortress of Solitude, he's still trying to find the most human elements of his upbringing and who he is as a man, not as an alien, I guess. It's very interesting. And then I love how, again, he transforms, and we'll see that later on when he becomes Superman again, how he sheds part of that identity to become this, new leader, new protector, picks up that mantle again.
DC was very eager to do this project. Alex Ross obviously was. Mark Waid was not as excited when he was presented with it. They had a meeting, and during the meeting, they were all talking about what's the start of this, what does the beginning lead to, in the middle, and he was just thinking, what should the end be? And it clicked with him that the end should be Kal-El taking the glasses from Wonder Woman and putting them on and becoming Clark Kent again. And so that was what got him excited that this is where the story was going to lead to.
I like this panel because in Dark Knight Returns, you have the newscasters who are speaking. In Spawn Comics, you have the newscasters who are speaking. I like this because this is the hold my beer, and I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then, and it goes beyond. Like the vanishing point's like way down here. So just a ton of TV screens.
Yeah, there's
that Superman's looking at.
Action Superman Man of Steel cover that has our Superman, present day Superman, doing the same thing. I don't know which came first.
He introduced the super pets just to kill him. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit.
I think this.
There's a couple more deaths too that might be offensive.
I'm offended.
So we're getting to a couple pages of what the individual JLA heroes are doing now. So Superman has retired, kind of. He's been missing for like 10 years. He's gone to the source.
Been in seclusion for 10 years. Yes.
So now, like, what are the other heroes doing? Which I find this to be very interesting.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday.
That Flash, for instance, is just a presence in Keystone City.
He's just moving.
But everyone knows that he's there. I mean, it's the Flash. Everybody knows that he's there, and he's doing what he can to keep his city safe. But also, he's not there. He's in multiple, like he's everywhere all at once, and just I find that again, it's maybe a common Flash trope, but like
no, it's taking to the extreme. Yeah, because like even later when he's back with the group, he's not back with the group because as we pointed out, there was no talking.
Yeah, Flash doesn't say anything throughout the entire
not a
book, which I
single
also
word.
find very interesting. And one of the points that was made, I guess, between Mark Waid and what?
Mark Waid's like, I'm writing the Flash monthly. I'm not doing double dialogue.
That was a good
That's a good
joke.
point.
That was a good joke. So anyway, the Flash, doing his thing. We've got Hawkman. I like the
eco-terrorist.
Eco-terrorist in the Pacific Northwest. Again, just doing what he can in his little spot of the world to keep things safe. And
I also like that this is an Egyptian Hawkman as opposed to a Thanagarian Hawkman, at least by the nice little necklace he's wearing there. Just a side note on that.
yeah.
But I do think it's really neat that all of the heroes are so predictable that you could see them all doing these exact same things even now in the modern age after they've retired from whatever it is that they may be doing.
Green Lantern just
becoming-
protecting the Earth from alien, like I'm just going to be Earth's, from global
Just sitting in
and just let humanity do what it does.
This is New Seattle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Frasier's
Hawkman also
somewhere-
doesn't talk.
Frasier's
Hawkman
somewhere
also
on
does
this
not talk.
space station. He's
So
listening.
the book was supposed to have a bit of a broader cast of characters being featured, but once it was determined that Superman was kind of the thrust of the story, a lot of things got kind of set aside.
What a great page here. Look at this nice blue, purple, and this red.
So for Gotham City, and I love this. Unlike Keystone City with the Flash, where the Flash is everywhere, but his presence is you know that he's there, but he's unseen. Batman is everywhere, and it's using the fear of these giant bat mechs to keep his city safe. So it's the same thing. He's everywhere all at once, but there's a much more fearful approach and a much more domineering presence of Batman is in your face all the time, as opposed to Flash is like we know he's here, but
It's almost like now. Do they ever specify which Flash it is in this at any point at all? Is
It looks like a
is it
Jake
Wally?
It is
does
intended to
look
be
like-
Wally West, but it is some kind of also. Was it you saying this, or I was
It-
reading this?
no,
it's
I-
the
it was-
Speed Force absorbed kind of consciousness of everybody.
them
Yeah,
all?
it's it's
the
almost like
all-Flash.
a amalgamation
Okay.
of all yes of
and
this-
Green Lantern is Alan Scott.
Yeah, I didn't realize that
Really?
either.
Yeah,
That's very.
But he's
cool.
kind of just like the Speed Force.
Okay.
But so it doesn't specifically get into like how it all happened, but it's kind of just a combination
because
of,
there weren't enough issues.
Yeah.
which is fine. Again,
Oh.
leave me wanting more.
But just once again to their point, Bruce and whichever Flash it may be have very different definitions of how to protect their city,
Yes.
and it is definitely their city.
Yes.
Looking at this this like Bull Man, I just thought of a great like Liefeld-esque like '90s cartoon show that was probably never. Maybe it was made. Horse Force.
Let's keep going.
Oh, he's looking at this guy right here.
This is
Sna-
the-
Snapka. I thought it said Snark, but it's Snapka.
So, Martin, do you want to explain like how the heroes of this generation have changed in regards to, you know, the heroes of the prior generation?
Basically, the heroes of today are just out to have a good time. They are self-centered. They brutal, I guess, is the word.
Just like those millennials.
Yeah, where they've kind of turned away from the gosh golly truth and justice mentality and are more just
Grim and
the
gritty.
cast of an Image comic.
Which I think it was
Yeah.
it's a commentary on the comics of the time
Yep.
too,
Oh,
of,
definitely,
of the how everything's dark and moody and vigilante and guns and are you good or are you bad? Doesn't matter. I'm the
Yep.
guy with the gun.
Yep.
And in this iteration, basically, either all the bad guys have been killed or taken care of. So it's basically good superheroes fighting each other for whatever reason.
Silly, petty reasons.
Yeah.
I especially like Americommando, who's on top of the Statue of Liberty with a giant gun arm, telling the immigrants to
Yeah.
go away.
That was one of the things that, like, when I was reading it, it's just like, it's a cartoon then, and it's reality now, basically, where
America Commando apparently not a new character, but this was one of the characters that was made or redesigned rather to kind of show that yes, that 90s hyper ultra violence. Like, what if Rob Liefeld designed a Silver Age, character? And,
while on crack.
how many pouches? How many things? How
Yeah.
big can his gun arm be?
It does kind of remind me of Judge Dredd design,
Mm-hmm.
though.
There's
Yeah, later on when we get to the sketch stuff, it's
Yeah, there's a bunch of that
Mhm.
stuff.
Evan hates
so,
this page.
So this is a page actually that doesn't work for me.
He ruined it for me.
Indeed.
This one?
So it's a right hand page,
No, I'm
which
just
should
trying
be
to
a
find
left
one.
hand page, because now the heroes of past
prior.
are coming in and intervening with the heroes of today who are destroying the Statue of Liberty and putting lives at risk. My issue I have with this is that this should be a left hand page reveal. I should be opening this up and it should be here. I love Superman. I think he is very strong. I think some of the other characters in the background are a little bit weak.
Like
and
this Starman.
and the,
or
and the
whatever that
posing
is.
of the angle that Superman's coming in, he's looking very strong. His chest is out. And I get that some of these other characters are pulling back where their legs are coming in first and they're leaning back a little bit. But it creates this weird perspective for me.
So you're telling me you want Wonder Woman and Power Girl to be leaning forward in this shot? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I didn't say that.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's just for the introduction of all of the classic heroes again. I think it's strong, but I
To
don't
me,
think
it
it's the
looks
strongest page.
After he pointed all this stuff out, it looks to me like it's one of those. Alex Ross does a single hero cover, and then they take all of those images from the different covers and kind of merge them together.
What's your artistic take on that?
On this shot,
Yeah.
it's
Sorry, I had to laugh.
it's fine. I don't feel particularly strong about it. I like Alex Ross's stuff, like those Batman pages when he does a more limited color scheme. I mean, with the blue sky, it's fine. You know what's funny is so many people probably really like the daytime, like bright light Alex
Mhm.
Ross stuff.
Yeah.
I like the limited color palette stuff better
Well,
personally.
I'm sure the bright light and all that is that we have now hope and goodness coming into the scene.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. I mean, it's a pretty.
It's not bad.
it's
Also, that
complex
being said,
poses.
Yeah,
it's
the wor-
not bad.
Yeah,
like
the worst
this
Alex Ross is going to be better
this
than
is
most
this
things.
is great, but I just feel like for the money shot of everybody together, it's there, but it leaves me.
It's clear. I don't know that I'm totally blown away by it. I don't know that this image is my favorite image that I've seen so far.
Well, let's keep going.
This guy with this ring blast here.
Do you know who that guy is? Wait,
What's
which page?
Green Lantern, right?
So motivation question.
Okay.
Do you think that in the early part of this book where he's assembling the Justice League and then all their allies, that he purposely is avoiding doing anything with Magog?
Superman?
Yeah, because they kind of just leave. I mean, it's implied a couple times, like, oh, why haven't we encountered Magog
They
yet?
Oh,
don't
I think he's
really do
avoiding him.
anything with him.
I think he's avoiding him. I think that's Superman is so all powerful and all he's avoiding him. He doesn't want that confrontation. He doesn't want that smoke just
Where he
yet.
takes apart America Commando here. That could be a better shot. Like if you're gonna tear apart this fascist guy,
I can't. That on signs in the
it's
way.
very subdued to show the back of Superman as he's tearing the guy apart or tearing his armor off or whatever. That's not very dynamic in my opinion.
Well, again, it's still beautiful stuff. There's no pages in this that aren't great.
Yeah, it's well illustrated for what it is, but as a
keep going.
director, I would make a different choice. I
Let's
think
keep going. Got Robin in the scene.
there's
Red
so much
Robin.
going
Red
on.
Robin.
Did you want to
Thank
talk
you.
about this at all? When you had originally read it,
What did I have a point on that?
the fact that you thought where the issue break would be, where you thought, oh, we're ending in hope, and then in reality it was not.
Oh, yeah. Let's go back to. I'm sorry, Aaron.
You better apologize.
Page 53 to 50 something.
So when I was reading this in the trade, I thought this was the last page of issue 1. Superman has returned. He's rounded up some of the baddies here. It's a sign of hope. And I didn't realize, and I thought this was the first page of the second issue where that hope is removed, where, oh my God, Armageddon hasn't ended, it's just begun. I thought this was the start of book number 2 for some reason. So I do like this 2-page spread of like, I flip, Superman is back. Okay, all right, Dad's back. There's going to be some rule of law going on here. It brings you that sense of hope, but really, it's all undone in that second page with that, Superman with in the red and anger, and Norman just going, "Oh my gosh, I'm here to witness something." And I realize that it's Superman coming back now. This isn't the beginning of something good. This is the beginning of the end of potentially humanity.
Armageddon is.
So I
coming.
thought that was a very interesting 2-page spread, actually. So.
So he's just shouting here with. Well, he didn't kill this person.
No. But
No, no.
this is the big Superman is back. He's no longer the farmer hiding
The
out in the Fortress
recluse.
of Solitude.
And then you
He's
have the-
shaved. He cut his ponytail. He's got this new darker costume. He's kind of, there's no all American smile on his face. It's like, I'm here to take care of business. But it brings you that sense of hope.
And then you have the red vision on the next panel.
Where
of,
oh my
of
gosh,
Norman's.
like
This is what Zack Snyder saw, and he was like, "Yes, this is my Superman."
So I apologize for skipping.
How dare you? But
we'll
yeah,
keep
I
going.
like this little Red Robin with the Michael Keaton mask. That's fun.
So the biblical aspects of this, where you have the passages of Revelation and the fact that we're keying up to Armageddon, that was not originally in the pitch. The original pitch was entitled "The Golden Age," and it
Not
was
Silver
decided
Age?
that they didn't want to use that title because I'm trying to find it here. Because it was the Golden Age had come out. The Heroic Age, I'm sorry, was the original name of this. And they didn't want to associate it with the Golden Age because they didn't want people to think that this was a sequel or somehow tied into it. So Alex Ross, one of the other names that he came up with was Kingdom Come. And Mark Waid, hearing this, instantly was like, oh, we have, this is kind of like biblical in sense. So they looked and found a lot of similarities in the in Revelations, where there's all these icons and allusions to things. So they were so that added that extra layer and brought in Norman's profession.
what's that?
This is the guy from Marvels, the one-eyed photographer.
He may make a cameo appearance at the
Later,
end too.
that's not him there.
Oh, it's not.
No.
With
You
the eye
sure?
patch?
Yeah, they listed the only appearance of him is in the
Epilogue?
aftermath.
Okay.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
I'd go with that though. It kind of looks like him.
I mean, he's got the eye patch.
So we've got Superman coming back to try to recruit Bruce to you know, we've got to teach the young heroes how to behave. We need to come back and you know,
Great
fight for
interaction.
humanity. Now, what I love about this, and you can keep going too, is the fact that Batman is smiling. Batman is smiling through all of this, and he smiles throughout the whole book, and he has a sense of humor. And Superman is the serious one. And it ties into some of my notes here that I'm going to go to.
I love how Batman's written in this, though. I don't always love Batman, but
He's written pretty darn good.
So
Yeah.
because
Batman is
so much
written
of
very
so much had been done visually to create Batman in recent years. This is Alex Ross talking. It became a challenge to find a different take from all the rest. At first, I had a different approach in mind, no different approach in mind, other than continuing Frank Miller's Dark Knight version using a refined suit and armor. It occurred to me that I was more inspired drawing out of costume Bruce Wayne. With an abused body held together by sticks and intense features and charisma, this negated the need for costume identity. The idea that the revelation of his secret identity would lead to his true soul as Batman being exposed was the newest wrinkle we brought to this character. This allowed the things to focus around Batman, such as the robot sentries who patrolled his stead. The greatest departure from this norm is that Batman smiles. To have the man smiling all the time seemed to grant him a creepier presence, and if so, to betray a sense that he's up to something. The precedent for grinning Batman comes from the earliest days in his career, just before Robin arrived in 1940. The fact that there's an interesting dichotomy of Batman of the Golden Age was smiling on his covers, while the Superman of the Golden Age wore a grim expression and squinty, evil-seeking eyes. The reason for this turn in characterization can be found in the strange idea that while the number of tragedies have befallen Superman, making him more grim, Batman has grown to accept his fate and is almost relieved by his injuries. He may be grateful from the stressful life he'd been leading, pushing his body to the limit, breaking to the breaking point. He's changed his lifestyle where he can find other means to continue his war on crime, basically letting him take a little bit of a break. So this is Batman taking a break. His identity has been discovered. Now I'm just going to make a bunch of sentries go around, and I don't have to be out there killing myself every day. Which I don't know, is just a very interesting take on Batman for
Didn't
me.
say if it was him or
I
not.
kind of just butchered that, but
yeah, I like that he moved beyond, punching poor people in the face because his parents were killed. But now he just has robots do it.
yeah.
But I do like that he's smiling about it. So at least
He's also refusing to call Clark Cal and all this as well,
yes.
so that he's like, I know who you really are, even if
Yeah.
you don't, sir.
Yeah, I love this.
I
depiction
love
of
the Dead Man, too.
This
Dead Man?
Dead Man.
Yeah,
Love Dead
we
Man.
picked up
Wow,
some
we
speed here.
jumped up quite a bit
paint
there.
me
I
some
mean-
skulls.
It's almost done.
Oh, I thought he didn't have to breathe, or is that preventing
I thought he didn't have to breathe either.
Who,
because he was
Superman?
underwater with no mask?
Yeah.
Or maybe Superman
Does
can
does Superman need to breathe oxygen?
I don't think so. I think it's more so maybe there's
Wait, wait.
maybe with that on he can communicate with Diana in space. Wait, is
we go to, like,
yeah,
the-
yes, he would need yes, he
Because
would need
in
air
space,
in order to
no
talk.
one can hear you scream.
Yeah,
right?
so you would need that as an intercom. You're right.
that's
you're right.
my only thought.
I think we went a little too far there, Aaron. For up to
Well,
Dead Man.
We want me to go back?
We got to talk about Magog for a
Yeah,
little bit.
we missed the whole villain.
The whole reason this started.
Where is he?
What
No,
page
I
do you want to go back to?
Oh, there's this page.
Which one?
Because you were like way ahead on Dead Man, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah,
I told him to start going faster because we're running out of time.
Oh,
I want whichever page.
Oh, there we go. Hold on.
This
All
is
right.
my favorite.
Martin, you want to talk about that page a little bit?
which page?
The Magog.
Basically, he's finally shown up, and they're gonna take him out. Superman and him have a backstory where Magog came to
Magog.
Metropolis, and Joker came to Metropolis. Joker was killing a bunch of people, and
Staff of the Daily Planet.
including the Daily Planet staff with
Lois Lane.
Clark Kent's wife Lois Lane, and Magog got to Joker first and killed him, and Superman arrested him, put him on trial. Then the city of Metropolis put Superman on trial, and he went away.
And Magog was acquitted.
Yes.
The city of Metropolis said that he did
That
the right
he-
thing by
yep.
killing
Yep.
Joker.
Which again is,
Which is
did he do the right thing by killing Joker?
Who's
Yes.
to say?
Well,
I say
I
yes
say
at
yes
this
too.
point.
We've talked about this that
He's had 57 years to.
as he continues to become a
Rehabilitate, yeah.
psychopath, like at a certain
Mhm.
point in time, it's like, yeah, that's the guy who gets the death sentence. And if the court system isn't going to do it, I think I'm fine with my hero doing it.
Superman was apparently not so.
Oh, there we go. Magog acquitted.
Magog was acquitted.
So Magog was mostly upset that Superman did not ever square off against him. where he wanted that feeling where he had inherited Metropolis from Superman.
Yes, he wanted to take over as the
Mhm.
mantle of I'm the world's protector. You know.
So his origin they never really get into here. Michael probably knows what his standard one is. But Alex Ross's intention with the sequel to the Never Happened sequel to this was that Magog was the son of Wonder Woman and Superman, and he was mentored / raised by Gog, who had something to do with I think it was destroying the original planet that made up Apocalypse and I keep forgetting New God's home.
New Genesis.
New Genesis.
So real quick, we're also this was added after the fact. These 4 pages. So
Oh, yeah.
Superman's trying to figure out what to do with all of these heroes who he believes need rehabilitation. We've got to go back to how things were. So he goes and talks to Aquaman. Aquaman, would you hold all of our? Would you
Prisoners.
Would
Would
you
you
hold all
hose
of our
them?
prisoners?
He's got the water for it.
Aquaman says, "No, like we're not going to hold your crap. I've got 70% of the world to
Yep.
take care of. Like you deal with what's going on the surface." So this was something that Alex Ross wanted to do. Is he wanted to visit Orion on Apocalypse and ask him the same thing, but it's kind of the same sequence as the Aquaman sequence. So this was eventually cut from the book and then added back in later on. So just an interesting 4-page again, asking Apocalypse, "Will you take our prisoners, so to speak?" And Apocalypse says no. And the
No,
three
it's not
page-
the other way around.
Huh?
No, it's the other way around.
What's that?
Orion offers to take the prisoners, and Superman goes, "I don't want them off. I don't think it's right to take people off world."
Oh, okay. So I'm saying
So it's
that
the opposite of
incorrectly.
the Aquaman thing, but I mean it's the same thing.
Yeah,
still,
all right.
but
My bad.
and that's what leads to the awkward
then
other
there's
panel.
an
Oh,
awkward
yeah.
Other
transition on
page.
this last page because this wasn't included in the original book. So it's 3 pages of interesting dialogue, and then this awkward
Man, that big Barda design's so strong.
and then we go back to the regular comic.
Issue 3.
I do like the reveal where you think it's Darkseid and then it's Orion.
So
Yep.
even like the Dark Side, like Orion's haircut is designed to look like Darkseid's helmet,
Yeah.
and it implies that he has now become a version of Darkseid, which is
Well, wasn't that his dad?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shazam!
All right.
Bruce
We're on
Wayne
chapter
shaking
3 here.
Hands.
Seven thunders uttered. Their
Explain what the
voices.
Gulag looks like again, Martin.
It is the from the Super Friends show. It is the Legion of Doom's headquarters
Oh my
Ah,
god!
okay.
from
right.
the swamp. Yeah,
In the swamp.
but I wasn't confident about, so I asked Evan. He confirmed. So.
Yes, and it was mentioned.
Because like
in
the
the
Hall of Justice is also represented by
Yeah.
one of the buildings too, but that's
And they could use that because I know sometimes the rights between media is like all tied up and weird.
no. I think
Nah.
that they have all the rights to the Super Friends stuff because they use everything from that. There's
That's good because like there's nothing worse than like watching an adaptation or like reading something and being like, yeah, we don't have access to all the things you love about
Mhm.
this. I like this like one-eyed thing. This is a very heavy metal panel.
Yeah. So this is all of the superheroes in the Gulag that they're trying to rehabilitate. And Deadman shows up.
Dead man, he's
this is
floating
this is
around.
this was Mark Wade's favorite sequence to do.
The Deadman?
Because it comes in, he's got like this fun attitude. He loved coming up with the I like to travel thing. And also we haven't pointed out that Spectre and
Norman.
Norman, I keep wanting to call him Phil. They're in almost every single panel, sometimes hidden in the backgrounds and stuff because they're
There's a lot of good Easter
invisible
eggs in
throughout the
that.
whole thing, and it's kind of fun to see. Like, sorry, just noticed something.
No, you're
This
good.
space stuff is
Oh, it's his
fun.
hand. Okay.
Yep. There's always something new to
Yeah.
notice every time you flip through this. It's
Yeah, it's
insane.
great. There's so much hidden stuff.
Pulling on some meteors with some lassos.
I think Superman can hold his breath for a really long time, and that's
I
what he
think
usually does
so.
in space. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Sorry, I was not fully processing.
So he does
before.
need to breathe then.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Luther has what everybody thinks is Shazam under his control during this whole thing. But really it's a grown-up Billy Batson
Uh-huh.
who is under mind control by these little worms that Lex Luthor has.
Our heroes had a lot of trauma.
Yeah. So Billy Batson's he's an adult now, who looks like Shazam, but everybody's kind of terrified of Luthor thinking that he has this Superman character at his disposal, but really he just has Billy Batson under mind control. Now, Superman goes to Batman, tries to convince him to join his side of the things, Batman goes, "No, I'm going to gather up my own heroes to make sure that when the shit hits the fan, we've got a force and we've got a plan." And meanwhile, Luthor is consorting with all of the humans, saying, "How can we eliminate the
all of them."
superhero problem that we have? Because there's just too many of them at this point in time, and we've lost control of humanity." So those are kind of the three factions. You got the Superman faction, you got the Batman faction, you got the Luthor faction, and now Bruce has come
To Luthor.
to Luthor to kind of say, let's work together because Superman's not solving this problem in the way that it should be.
I love this command station. This is very Doctor Strange love.
Yeah, Martian Manhunter is pretty traumatized too. He's used to the extent they didn't want a fully powered other superhero. Correct, Evan? Is that what you're saying?
So you have Shazam in Luthor's corner, and you have Superman on his. Those are the two powerhouses
Yeah.
that are there. They made John John's Martian Manhunter a shell of himself because originally they wanted to include him more, but they thought having a third Superman tier character wouldn't work for the drama and conflict.
Right.
So John John's kind of a shell of himself. Bruce is trying to get Martian Manhunter to read Billy Batson or Shazam's mind at this point in time, and basically Martian Manhunter says, "I can't," and Bruce says, "All right, buddy, go home. Like you've done enough." So that's kind of interesting. You can just see, he's just a shell of himself. So Norman and the Spectre are observing all of this. Norman is supposed to make a judgment at the end when the world ends, and he's the human host for the Spectre, who's going to help him make a judgment. So Deadman is talking to him, but nobody else can see him. But the Flash, who doesn't speak at all, and is in different universes, different dimensions all at the same time, realizes at one point in time that the Spectre and Norman are watching them, and he pulls Norman out of that reality and into the world where the JLA is. And the superheroes kind of confront him, to which Norman goes, "I'm here, like, what are you doing here? Are you spying on us?" And basically says, "I don't know what I'm doing. I'm here to judge. Armageddon is coming." And then just like that, Norman is ripped back into the spectral realm with the Spectre. And yeah.
And then the proverbial poop hits the fan. The Gulag prisoners are deciding they want out, and it's happening. Wonder Woman's leading the charge to go do whatever is necessary. Superman, not so much. So there's a growing conflict between the two of them. They run off. So they go to the government, right?
Yes.
And Cal admits that there is a problem. She definitely doesn't agree with that.
Oh, you're good. Which then takes us to Bruce and Lex.
Yeah, I love
Bruce
this
revealing that,
sequence.
"No, I am not in league with you, Lex Luthor."
So
I
Bruce is determined that Billy Batson, it's not Shazam he's with, it's Billy Batson.
Yep.
He proves this by punching him in the face
face.
because he's
Batman
he's
style.
deduced that this is not who we think it is. And now we're going to call the dogs in to take care of Lex Luthor. Which is just great, though, that like that's how Bruce, he's like, yeah, if I figure this out, this isn't Shazam.
Yep.
Punch in the face.
Nope, and then we're up to the kiss.
Yeah, I love Andy Griffith as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good choice.
Well, and that's what he said. El Trustity enjoyed drawing Bruce Wayne more than he did drawing Batman, so I think that's great.
I also like that he's not in the Batman costume and everybody calls him Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even
There
think
was
of that.
there was
Yeah,
a big
yeah.
outing or something, I think. Did they mention that in the
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
That's why he's wearing all the when
Yeah.
we talked about it.
Yeah,
with the
they
little
blew up
stick
they blew
thing.
up the mansion and everything. Yeah, okay.
Yes, because
Bane and yeah, okay.
Bane and I
remember
think
that.
it was Bane and
Riddler? Yeah.
It said Two-Face.
Did
Bane
it?
and Two-Face. Okay. Because Riddler's.
but-
Oh, no,
senile
Riddler's
and-
with
yeah, he's
Catwoman.
senile with
Yeah.
Catwoman. At
Are we with the
Justice
are
League
we up to the kiss yet?
I don't know. Oh, we're right there.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
The passionless kiss.
This is great.
This is what you pay money for.
Again, Wonder Woman ready to go to war. Clark, Kal-El, Superman, whoever he is, not sure. And they've got the moment here where the kiss is devoid of passion. It's a final farewell. Like, Wonder Woman's ready to
Yep.
die on her shield.
Mm-hmm. And kill whoever's in the way.
And Superman's not ready to do that yet. That's a great moment.
Look at that Superman zoom. Zoom. Then he comes back to check out what Bruce is doing.
So basically, the problem that we have now is that things are hitting a meltdown level at the prison. You got the two forces that are going to be squaring off against each other. The only thing that's keeping it kind of at bay is that the walls of the prison are holding. But Shazam is on his way to throw some thunder down, probably 7 bolts.
That's
So
Shazam at the end,
This is probably the best single image out of the thing.
right? Like
now-
that's just the barrel chested
Mhm.
throwback to that earlier time. And Superman looks that same
The
way
crack
too.
of lightning.
Now you were talking about the light and dark earlier, how you like the darkness of some of his work.
Yeah.
This is very bright, but I also feel like in the background it's like
that's
it's
Storm
coming.
and
The
yep.
storm is coming.
Yep.
Well,
Like,
it's got a full range of
Armageddon
value
has
here, like
arrived.
a clear light source. you know,
yeah.
like
And even though it's
bright back here and then
light,
dark
it's
down
still
here.
ominous.
Yes. This is a great illustration of like a body like falling and hitting some dust and throwing a bunch of dust up
Mhm.
in the air too. That's well done.
All right, let's go here. We got one more chapter.
Angry Superman. Who doesn't like a good silhouette? That's a good silhouette.
There's more layers to it than I saw at first. When I was looking at it earlier, I didn't see the extra fists punching each other in the face up at the very top.
Oh yeah, the Giants.
Yep.
And the little Devil versus Hawkman looks like.
And then a 2-page spread.
2 pages of chaos.
That's pretty good though. I mean, it's a bit more organized than some of the other like big action
Mhm.
sequences.
Oh, definitely.
That's his George Perez influence there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's got more angularity to it, more levels of depth,
The
and
expressions
more
there are
more
just-
darkness,
I
right?
know.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I never
contrast
noticed
is
the
nice.
skull inspector's
Yeah.
pupil either.
Yeah, just the emotion on Norman's face there. If we've
Are we in the,
they haven't
the
flipped
splash
yet.
still?
Oh,
Is the
no.
next page?
No, we're, yeah, we're in that. Yeah, sorry, we're ahead of you.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Oh, yeah, I didn't notice that either.
Mhm.
And you're right, Norman's face there, just the pains,
Just pleading.
like
Isn't this the Alex Ross Spectre with the hood? Isn't that what partially inspired Unbreakable, the M Night Shyamalan movie?
I don't know. He worked on it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and because he did a similar design for that with the hood.
Yeah, then we have the
the UN here, right?
with the guy making the hard call, and then the next page over,
With
he's
his
got the
World's
world's best dad mug, and just the weight of the whole situation on him.
Now, do we know if that guy's based off anyone particular?
I don't know.
What's the
Because he
symbol on
looks
his
a-
vest?
I don't know.
It looks
I
an
also
awful lot
don't
like
know
Alex
how-
Ross.
I was
doesn't
gonna say I don't know how long Alex Ross has been balding, but it looks a lot like Alex Ross. But I couldn't imagine that he looked 40 when he was in his 20s.
Yeah.
I don't know.
it? It could be.
Well, I was talking about who the pilot of the.
Oh, that's a Blackhawk.
Yeah.
That,
yeah.
that- I don't
Yes.
know their names, but
Okay,
that's-
all
yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's not.
That's when I was like, oh, I know what that symbol is now.
Yeah. Oh, that's what my.
Yeah.
Evan, do you like this scene of the heroes descending better than the previous
Yes.
one?
It's funny. He got help with that design from Bruce Timm, and now I totally see it in that image that there's a lot of Bruce Timm there.
Yeah, if you can get Bruce Timm on the horn, why wouldn't you?
It was Bruce Timm and Dave Johnson, and there's several other
Oh,
people that
yeah?
helped contribute with like
Yeah,
it was
wow.
it was a murderer's row.
I was
of
actually
people,
impressed at how many people he went to with these designs and
and was like,
stuff he
help
got
me
with.
figure this out. And
Like
so
he
you're
had-
taking
Whoa.
Like if your what was the Americommando, whatever it is?
Yeah, Americommando.
Yeah, him. He had someone else come in like who did that kind of stuff.
from like the Judge Dredd
Stuff, yeah.
world.
So they could get that aesthetic
Like
really
a
good
Brian
and work off
Bolland
that.
or
So-
Mike McMahon or
The
I mean-
sorry. Finish what you're saying.
I'm just naming
No, all I was going
2080
to say
artists.
is the takeaway from this is don't be afraid to ask for help
Yeah.
because you can create great things with the help of others.
No, you can't.
Man, what a cavalry!
Mhm.
Yeah,
Can you imagine? I'm having trouble with this page. I'm gonna call up Bruce Timm.
I love
Yep.
this.
I'm gonna call up
Oh,
Dave
yeah.
Johnson, some of the best designers who ever lived, basically. Or like, he probably could have been like, you know what? I'm gonna call Mike Mignola on this one.
Yep.
Hey, look, it's an eagle. and a
Barry
bat
Crane
fighting.
was the artist who helped
Yeah.
with Americommando.
Doesn't have Wikipedia
What did
page.
Barry Crane do? What are some of his credits?
Just
I'm
just like
unfamiliar.
2000 AD stuff.
Okay.
wow.
Okay.
I
Well,
mean,
If you-
look at that.
some series that never ends.
yeah, that checked out with. I
forgot
mean,
what it
'cause
was.
that's kind of the vibe I got
have
from
it
the
on here.
design. Is a 2000 AD type look.
Gotta get to
We're
that.
back
I
to
was
these
going
like
back.
scratch the pages. I guess this works a bit more because at least for following it across, and there's lots of moments there.
And I think it's that chaos of I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
So, we
So
have-
then in the heat of the battle, we've got Wonder Woman and Batman with opposing ideologies
coming
here.
to fatal blows.
Yep.
When
And
I do like
suddenly the government drones appear.
I do like how the sky is a panel kind of, and the
Mhm.
clouds are a panel. Like there's all this
Yep.
separation on the
yeah,
widescreen
that's a very
format.
actually that's a beautiful page.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
But
really
here they
well
are
done.
the UN is going to
You didn't
nuke
believe me, I told you
everybody
that.
to get rid of the superhero problem.
Of course I believed you.
And Batman and Wonder Woman finally realize this as they're fighting.
So they got to take out 2 of the 3. Superman is trying to convince Captain Marvel that he can be sane, he can do what needs to be done. Eventually giving him the... Am I going too fast?
Nope.
Eventually giving him the choice to decide if the heroes die or if the heroes live.
Because
And-
Superman says, "I can't make this choice. I'm
Yeah.
not a human. I'm not a Earthling, I guess." Whereas Billy Batson, you are. You can make this choice. Do the heroes live or do the heroes die?
And it appears as though he chooses for the heroes to die, and he is not happy. And Spectre and Norman have a little conversation while Superman is extremely pissed off and heads off to attack the government, take out his anger and wrath. It's pointed out that by Norman that his anger isn't so much with them as it is with himself. And what is Norman's actual plea? What is the swaying thing? Do we know?
What's that?
What does what does Norman do to
You
actually
want
sway him?
redemption,
Yeah.
It lies in the very next decision
Thank
you
you.
make. Make it as a man and make it right.
There you go. So he chooses to be a man, not a god.
So yes, Shazam takes out the nuke.
Yeah,
And then
and what Shazam had done was he had basically split the difference and let the bomb activate at a point where it would take out most of the heroes.
Was that a conscious decision?
Yep.
That was a conscious
Yeah.
decision.
Is
from
it?
Billy.
Are you seriously? That's a conscious
yep.
decision by Billy Batson
Yes.
to say, okay,
Wisdom of Solomon.
we'll
cut the baby in half.
Wow, is that
Mm.
mentioned in the book?
No,
Is
I-
that just in your notes?
no, I just came up with it right now as we were talking about it.
heavily
Yeah.
implied.
Yeah.
Heavily
It was-
implied.
It's
Yeah,
not that
there's-
I don't believe you, but
Yeah.
that kind of blows my mind because
Yeah,
I've never
it
thought about it that
was-
way. I just
Think
thought it was he
about-
came to that revelation.
Yeah,
and said,
it was. There was
I
some
need to
dialogue,
do
and I'm
what
like, oh, that's good.
what I can
Yeah,
to stop what I can. Wow.
For me,
Okay.
I
okay.
thought- I
yeah. I'll try and
thought
find the dialogue.
the
I don't know.
eyes. I thought the eyes very specific, like the eyes of Billy during the sequence where Superman is holding his hand over Billy's mouth, and they're just talking. I feel like I can see in Billy the breakdown of him realizing what he can and cannot do. Like you see, like he never stops being a scared child at any point. But as he moves up and he gets closer to doing what he needs to do with his final Shazams, there you can see he's still holding, like he's got his eyes closed. He doesn't want to do what he's doing, but he's still doing it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
That's
like this Mark Wade guy might have a future in writing.
yeah. He might
might-
have a
he
future
might.
in comics.
he
Who
might,
knows?
He might actually be doing a really great Shazam run right now. Actually,
Oh yeah.
yeah, he is. It's very fun. Not serious at all. It has alien T Rexes that are also
Mhm, mhm.
accountants in it.
Oh, that's essential.
So
It
the
is essential.
So the book moves on with Wonder Woman being accepted back into the Amazons on Paradise Island. You get Bruce has rebuilt the manor as a hospital to treat those who are injured, using the Lex Luthor's little gang of compatriots to help out there.
I
Superman.
love that Batman. Or I keep saying Bruce, but Batman switches to white. To
Mhm.
it's
Yeah, yeah,
white.
yeah,
You're
yep.
in a white hospital room.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It's a
You-
rebirth.
yes, it's a rebirth.
Didn't Kevin Conroy play this version of the character in the crossover on the CW?
Of Batman.
I don't know.
I think he
Maybe.
did.
I didn't
Jonathan?
get that far.
Jonathan?
Jonathan, anybody?
I think he did.
The rebuilding of Kansas as a memorial / trying to get get it fertile again. Wonder Woman presenting Cal with the glasses. He accepts the glasses, saying he's back to Clark.
Crypto's back.
And Crypto's back. Yes.
Jonathan says he did.
A
Thanks, Jonathan.
newly inspired
Norman.
Norman gives an
Oh.
uplifting message.
That sequence where he gets the glasses back and returns
is,
to
yep.
Clark,
Mhm.
and we said I don't really care for any romance between
Yeah,
Wonder
I'm not,
Woman
I'm
and
not
Clark,
shipping those two.
but but that's I don't feel like it's romantic here. I think it's
Yeah,
just
except for the kiss.
well, yeah, but it's two people who deeply care
Yeah.
about one another. Although there might be more
You know, we
to the
talked.
story.
I do prefer Wonder Woman, Batman,
Or
than,
even Aquaman.
I like.
Really?
Wonder
Yeah, they had
Woman
like a
Aquaman.
little almost love triangle during Justice League.
The only time Conroy got to play Bruce in live
Yep.
action.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, very good.
Criminal.
I like. Are we still on the page with Superman getting his
the
glasses,
glasses,
back?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just look at the satisfaction, the content that
Yeah,
Clark
that-
has
and
that-
getting
that-
that
everything
last-
that looking
right
up-
in
Yes.
the world again.
It kind of provides a little bit more context for why he wears the glasses too.
Yes. Yes.
Like, because that's a criticism that's always levied at it. It's like, oh, you just put on glasses and you're not Superman anymore. Now you're Clark Kent. But it's him adopting like a faux frailty of the human condition. So it's him embracing his humanity, even though he's not human.
Yes.
Yes.
Was Wonder Woman changing her outfit throughout this entire 2-page sequence? The
Maybe she had a cape that was over it.
Maybe her cape is just real big.
Cape was over the front.
Let's not ruin the Hollywood magic.
sorry,
Conroy.
okay, I'm sorry. Inspiring message, and then we go to the 1 year later epilogue, which was added to this.
I like that font much more.
Yeah, I know it's yeah, and that's
100
newer.
years later. Oh, I love this Superman hair. Oh,
He's got like the super mullet thing going on with the Dean Cain face.
Yep.
yeah.
I like. Is that Lion Cook Martian
I
Manhunter?
didn't.
Yeah.
I literally just saw this 2 seconds
Yeah,
ago,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I've looked
yeah.
at this a few times, and I'm like, "Is that? Oh, that's great. That's great."
Oh.
So what happened here was that they were planning the big deluxe edition trade paperback, and during the making of the actual book, Mark Waid had mentioned to Alex Ross he would have loved to have just a time to have Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman sitting drinking coffee and discussing things. And at a convention, Alex Ross presented him with a page of them just sitting there drinking coffee, which Mark Waid just went crazy for. Ran to whoever was in charge of editing the new collection and said, would we be able to expand this and have it in there? And the editor's like, yes, but I think they should be having coffee at Planet Krypton.
This is a comic, Aaron, or an epilogue that you would love because you always
so
talk
good.
about. I love for the X-Men. We're just sitting around drinking
Mhm.
coffee and having these small moments.
Mm-hmm.
You can still play with the characters and develop the characters. The stakes don't need to be that high, and this is exactly what this is.
And such some great comedy throughout this too.
Yeah.
There's reflecting on the heavy stuff, but there's also
Just right even to their drink orders,
Yep.
you get personalities because each person
Yes,
uses something
Amazon
different.
water,
water for Wonder
Woman,
Woman,
milk for Clark,
Superman.
and then coffee
by the
keep
gallon
Keep
for,
it coming.
yeah, for
Yep.
Bruce.
That just you can just tell that Bruce Wayne just lives off of coffee.
Uh-huh.
At least just like
Yeah.
I don't know. I love that. Even
The
the
Dark Knight, black coffee.
even the drinkware when they cheers
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah,
end,
yeah.
they're
Yep.
holding the Shazam.
Superman's got the Shazam cup.
Yeah.
Merchandising.
Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman's got a Flash cup.
Yep.
But I
Look at
like
the
the Green
ketchup.
Lantern mug that
Yeah.
Batman has.
WB.
Yep.
Cosmic treadmill.
Mhm.
The guy's just up there on that cosmic
That
treadmill.
copter.
Yeah, there's just so many fun gags in this.
The
Hi, I'm
revelation.
Robin.
They're trying to announce
Nope.
that Wonder Woman's pregnant, and
go to the
Bruce
right
is
camera
like, I
here.
know it.
So that was supposed to. So that would. No, it wouldn't have been the reveal then,
Hmm.
or that wouldn't have done anything with Magog's origin at all.
Yeah.
So.
But there's the revelation that Superman and Wonder Woman are going to have a baby,
Yes.
and of course Bruce has already deduced this
Yep.
because he goes, "Well, I can tell you've gained a pound or two, and there's some other things that I saw as well." So he ruins the surprise.
Gray hair.
But they
Yeah,
want
right.
But
Bruce to
the
be,
actual surprise is,
they want Bruce to be the Godfather
which is some more comedy there.
because he says don't have a great track record raising kids.
Yeah.
And then later stating that you're giving me a Wonder Woman Superman hybrid baby that I can control or I can influence.
Yeah.
They hug it out. It's always nice to see
Mhm.
Bruce and Kal-El Clark hug.
And then
Because I'm sure they hug all the
all the
time.
time.
Mhm.
Then as they're leaving, you've got Norman.
And
Spectre's human form, and Phil from Marvel's sitting there,
Oh, okay, yeah.
which is listed in the official one. It didn't say the other one was, but I looking at it, yeah, I think you were right.
Didn't the human Jason Blood? Doesn't he also have a white stripe in his hair?
Yep.
The demon.
Yep.
Well, they-
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So here's a fun little thing I just noticed. The beginning of Kingdom Come starts with Norman getting his visions from Wesley Dodds, the Sandman.
Mm-hmm. It's a dying parishioner.
Yes.
Was it the robot?
Yes.
Yeah. The
Oh,
second
we
to
almost
last
made it.
panel. The second to last panel, aside from having a Wiz Comics and a Morphon Comics on the wall, so first Spectre and first Shazam, there is Sandman's gas gun, gloves, fedora, and it looks like one
Oh.
of his gas pieces as well on the wall. So we're starting and finishing our
Finishing off there
story where
with
it
Wesley
began.
Dodds. Really quick aftermath we'll go through.
Yeah.
We saw the 4 pages that were added. We saw the 1 year later epilogue. There was a proposed sequel series. It was going to be an ongoing called The Kingdom by Ross and Wade. Ross on covers, Gene Ha interiors.
Oh, wow.
And
That would've
it
been
would
good.
take place around the time of Kingdom Come, but would be set in the present day DCU as well. It would have the main focus. So it's kind of like your road to what happened to Kingdom Come. Unfortunately, there was creative differences, and we ended up getting The Kingdom,
Which
Which
is a pile
is-
of crap.
a horrible pile of crap.
It is
Really?
A story arc.
I shouldn't say that, but
No,
it's
it
just,
is. It's
it's
steaming.
you went from like one of the greatest, arguably the greatest comic story of the '90s, one of the top 25, maybe top 10 graphic novels ever, to the sequel, which is just
With no name artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a story arc spanning across 2 issues of a self-titled comic book limited series, as well as multiple one-shots published by DC in '99. The story was written by Mark Waid and illustrated by Ariel Olivetti and Mike Zack. It is both a sequel and in some ways a prequel to Kingdom Come.
Got some
Both
Frank Quietly in there too.
there's
yeah.
some Frank Quietly.
The story extended to one-shot books entitled New Year's Evil Gog, The Kingdom Kid Flash, The Kingdom Night Star, The Kingdom Offspring, and The Kingdom Planet Krypton, The Klingon Son of the Klingon, The Kingdom Son of the
Klingon.
Vat. The Notorious
Klingon
Starling was
Come.
later collected in trade paperback. Unlike Kingdom Come, which featured artwork by Ross, The Kingdom has a different visual style. The story directly continues and expands the original storyline, exploring areas of the future that were not covered in the original miniseries. While Kingdom Come can stand alone, The Kingdom is a continuation and is not a complete story in itself.
It is entirely skippable if you so
Yeah.
choose.
I think the only positive about it is that you meet some of these characters who were just literally background characters.
Yeah, if you want a little bit more information on Magog, I did not reread this before the podcast, so I don't remember too
I looked
much
at it and
about
decided
it
not to.
one way or another. But I remember just being so underwhelmed because you can't follow up Alex Ross.
Yeah.
They
This
That's-
is an example
and
of
it's
Evan
issue.
being correct.
So hyper detailed in its approach in the original version, and just I mean I feel like you're touching on things, but like it's lacking that.
Kingdom Come was a passion project,
Mhm.
and it was very apparent right from the beginning. The Kingdom, it was definitely not a cash grab. There was intention,
Feels like a cash grab.
but it felt like a cash grab.
It was probably more of a cash grab for DC than Marvel's was
I would
Yeah.
think
for
so.
but interesting enough, the Marvels written by Kurt Busiek. Kurt actually helped with something in this. I don't remember what it was. Evan, do you? Nope. Okay, we talked about it like
We
just
did, we
3
talked-
hours ago, but
we did.
neither of us can remember. But yeah, so this is I think a good relationships came out of Marvels and Kingdom Come for
10 out
Alex
of
Ross.
10 out of 10 stars. Highly recommend.
Yeah, I definitely.
Mhm.
We
If
will
you
be
have-
talking later in the year about Marvels.
If you haven't
I
read
haven't,
this stuff,
I have
it's
not read
amazing.
Marvel, so that'll be a
Yeah,
good
Kingdom
thing.
Come. We have it on sale here at the store.
We do.
Link in the description below.
If you're,
Uh,
do we still have a copy of Justice too? The other DC Alex Ross book? Maybe.
We also have The Kingdom if you want to buy that instead of Justice.
All
But-
right. What else do we got? I think
that's-
we've
I
done
think
it.
We're good.
We did.
Oh, we're gonna end on one
yeah.
little note here. There's
Yeah.
a 3-page.
So for Magog, they wanted to. I'm just gonna go while you're flipping to that.
Yeah.
They wanted him to look like everything awful about the '90s, and they did such a good job that they loved the design themselves.
is true.
So
I love Magog's design.
he's basically they wanted a ripoff on Cable.
Uh-huh.
Was the main one, which you can tell with his eye. Go ahead.
There's a little 3-page story
yeah.
here at the end that we can end on that's kind of fun that deals with Mr. Mxyzptlk and Batmite.
Yes.
And so what was the story
They
here?
weren't allowed to use those characters in the original because they were too goofy. DC years later did a special with Batmite and Mr. Mxyzptlk, where they were going to
Mxyzptlk.
different realities, and so they approached Alex Ross about doing this, and he jumped on the opportunity to. It's not written by Mark Waid.
But just a fun little
Yep.
3-page. Sick of alternate realities. It's cute. It's fun.
But yeah, any of the versions of the trade that we looked at have great special, like top-notch special features.
I mean,
Like there's a whole timeline right here of a family tree that Aaron just flipped past, right
The-
there.
yeah, like the genealogy for all of this stuff, so insanely researched. Like this is overkill.
The
to me,
amount
but
of work
I
that,
love
that
it.
they put
I love
into
it.
this just for
Mr.
what is
America,
on the
America,
pages is just
America.
amazing.
Yeah.
Red
Yeah, I would say-
Tornado 2, Red Tornado 3.
You know, it's 140
Okay, there we go.
pages story maybe, and then there's another 100 pages of just content, which is just
Clark?
amazing.
His dad's name is, I didn't realize that, Clark Norman Ross. That's funny.
It is.
All right,
So there we go.
Kingdom Come. I think we did it.
Yes.
Hey,
We took up a lot more time than I thought we were going to.
yeah, we
That
did.
was good.
That's okay.
We did.
This is what we call a
And
book.
we rushed too.
A book.
Read one today. Comics.
Also, I'd
Read
like to thank Aaron, Teresa, and Lucy and Tootsie for giving this to me for Christmas. I finally drank it. Evan's not drunk his yet, but I liked it.
Oh, good.
Looks gross.
No, it's actually pretty good.
May I see it? I bet I know.
You want to
exactly
take us
what it
home
is.
here?
Hi,
Take us
I'm
home
Aaron
tonight.
Z. Lee, and you've been listening to The Comic Shop Does a Podcast. This week, we talked about Kingdom Come by Mark Waid and Alex Ross.
And I'm Evan Coy. Flustered, but over it. We did it.
I'm Martin Crane. I'm eating a cracker.
I'm Michael Callie. I'm not.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
eating a cracker.
Have a good night, everybody.
Apologies to Jack Kirby.
Apologies to Jack Kirby.
Sorry, man.